All right, we're going to break down 4 powerful study techniques that some of the most successful students on the planet use. But here's the thing, you don't need a fancy acceptance letter to use them. This isn't about being born a genius, it's about learning how to learn smarter.
Does this sound familiar? You've been at it for hours, you're staring at the pages, you've highlighted so much the book is glowing, but then when you try to actually remember the information, it's just poof, gone. If you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, trust me, it's probably not you, it's your technique.
And this quote right here just nails it. The goal isn't to grind for more and more hours. It's about using methods that actually work with your brain's natural wiring, not against it. So let's dive into our very first technique. First up, we've got active recall. Now, this is all about shifting from being a passive sponge, just soaking things up, to being an active participant in your own learning. Instead of just letting information wash over you, you've got to force your brain to do some of the heavy lifting. So what does that really mean? Well, instead of just rereading your notes over and over, you're actively pulling that information out of your memory. It's the huge difference between just recognizing something on a page versus truly knowing it. And you know what? This is so simple to put into practice. The next time you finish a chapter, just close the book. Seriously, no peeking. Then write down a few key questions about what you just read and try to answer them from memory alone. That moment where you struggle a bit, that's the good stuff. That's your brain building stronger connections. Okay, let's move on to our second technique, which kind of builds on this idea. It's called the Feynman technique. And honestly, it's one of my absolute favorites for really mastering a topic. It's all based on one simple idea. The real test of your knowledge is whether you can explain it to someone else.
The magic here is simplicity. If you can't explain a really complex idea in simple, everyday language, you probably don't understand it as well as you think you do. And what's so brilliant about this method is that it forces you to see exactly where the gaps in your own knowledge are.
And here's how you do it. First, you pick your concept. Then you try to explain it, either out loud or by writing it down, using the simplest words you can think of. You'll feel it immediately, those spots where you hesitate or get stuck. Boom. Those are your knowledge gaps. Then you just go back to the material, fill in those gaps, and try explaining it again until it's totally clear. This right here is the golden rule. Forget all the fancy jargon. Forget the complicated vocabulary. If you can make a 5-year-old get the basic idea of your topic, you've pretty much reached mastery. All right, technique number 3. This one is all about managing your focus and your energy. It's called the 50-10 rule, and it is designed to help you dodge that burnout feeling while keeping your brain in top shape. Think of it like this. You're working in focused sprints, not some grueling, endless marathon. You know, we've all been there, right? The grind, those super long, painful study sessions that just leave you exhausted and not really learning anything. The much smarter way is the cycle. 50 minutes of intense, focused work, followed by a 10-minute break to completely recharge. That's how you stay at peak performance. But the key here is to make these cycles really count. For those 50 minutes, you are totally locked in. That means no notifications, no social media, 0 distractions. You got to treat that focus time as sacred. And what's cool is that this kind of interval training for your brain doesn't just help you now. It actually builds up your ability to focus over time. And that brings us to our fourth and final technique, one that is so often overlooked, your environment. See, your brain is like this powerful association machine. It creates really strong links between places and the things you do in them. So what this means is you need to set up a dedicated focus zone. Pick one single spot, a specific desk, a particular chair in the library, and use it only for studying. By keeping it clean, quiet, and distraction-free, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, when we're here, it's time to focus. So there you have it. A whole new toolkit for changing the way you learn. Let's just do a quick recap of the 4 core techniques we just went through. So you're going to use active recall to strengthen your memory, the Feynman technique to truly master subject, the 50-10 rule to stay focused without burning out, and you're going to set up your environment to signal to your brain that it's go time. The most important thing to take away from all this is that you now have the strategies. These are the exact same tools that the highest achieving people use. It's time to stop working harder and finally start working smarter. So I guess the only question left is, which one are you going to try first? Are you going to test yourself with some active recall later today? Or maybe try to explain a tough concept to a friend? Just pick one and put it into action.